Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Pizza Ranch studio. Johnny Mack is here. Guy Newcomb, the coach, DA. Hey, let's jump into it. Hey, we're going to talk about something that we talk about it, but we don't necessarily talk about it all the time. That's women's college basketball. And let me tell you something. I was equally as interested, if not slightly more so interested, in what was happening in the women's game. And I can tell you this, by far more interested in what happened in that championship game on Sunday, but is equally interested in those semifinal games on Friday night. I was pleasantly surprised. LSU ends up winning the national championship, but the semifinal games had Iowa beating South Carolina and LSU beating Virginia Tech 79-72. Gentlemen, let's start in on that Iowa-South Carolina game. I promise you, I was at home, feet kicked up, on the couch, watching women's basketball. It was a game changer. And Caitlin Clark put on a show. Let's just be quite honest. She gave South Carolina more than they could handle. And South Carolina couldn't respond. And Caitlin Clark put on a show. Guy, I know for a fact you was at home eating pork chops and chitlins and some cornbread. Tell me what you saw Friday nights if you were sitting at home when you watched that Iowa-South Carolina semifinal matchup.
Well, I tell you what, I didn't think Iowa had a prayer.
Yeah.
Looking at the dominance, I mean, South Carolina had won 46 games in a row. They're defending national champions. They are so big in the interior. I just didn't think, but Caitlin Clark, it was an incredible performance by her all the way throughout the tournament.
Yeah.
With what she was able to do. And, that was, I was flipping back and forth. And then that whole second half, I was glued to it. I thought, are they going to be able to pull this off?
Yeah.
And sure enough, they did. And I was excited, about Iowa, then matching up with Kim Mulkey and LSU and what Mulkey did, there in a very short time, turning that program around. Of course, she had 9 new players this year. And that's just from the transfer portal. But no, Caitlin Clark was amazing. And the whole thing that happened in the championship game, I know we'll talk about that. I'll have maybe a different take on it than both of you. But no, that Friday night was exciting, and I was looking forward to that Sunday matchup.
Yeah, both games Friday night were very, very good. LSU was lucky to get to the championship game. They were down throughout most of the game and had an incredible fourth quarter to be able to advance. And then one thing that kind of gets lost in the South Carolina-Iowa game was the game prep by the Iowa coaching staff and Coach Bluter. They just flat did not guard a couple of South Carolina players on the perimeter and just dared them to try to score from out there. And to me, that was genius because it put South Carolina in an uncomfortable position where they couldn't run everything through their center, who was last year's national player of the year and tremendous talent. But I thought the coaching, just the game plan going into that was very, very good and kind of got lost in the shuffle because Caitlin Clark had such a great game.
It did because it was almost like they were like, if you hit this 15-footer, then we'll come guard you. But it was almost like they lost confidence in themselves. Like, why are they giving me this shot? And if I take it and miss it, because then I'm gonna feel like they're really gonna pack in that zone a little bit more. But you're right, that was a heck of a game plan that they had against them because they really didn't guard a lot of their perimeter players. And even though South Carolina beat them up on the boards, but they still didn't beat them up as nearly as they would have. They weren't packing it in. But that brought us to an interesting matchup. That brought us to the championship game. And Caitlin Clark put on a run. I'm sorry, anybody that feels a little differently about this, but she became the face of that tournament. And some people want to put a racial component on it. It might be there slightly. I believe it will always be there. And most things we do in this country, there is that component there. I'm on record as saying what happened in the championship game went a little bit overboard. Some of the taunting by Angel Reece of LSU after the game was decided in the waning moments. She did the "you can't see me" gesture. And I understood that because and Caitlin Clark deserved to give it kind of put back into her face because she had did it. But she didn't direct it at anyone. She wasn't taunting right to them directly. but she did do it. So turnabout is fair play. I thought that Reece went a little bit further than what needed to happen, and therefore I thought it was a little bit overboard. And I'll just leave it at that. So all the double standards which do take place in our society were there on display for America to kind of make their assumption. With the first lady wanting to invite Iowa to the White House, that was kind of crazy. That didn't make sense. DA, I've heard a little bit of what you want to say. I want to start with you. I think Guy might have a big surprise for us on his take. But DA, let's start with you. What are your thoughts as a coach of men and women? What are your thoughts?
I'm old school, and I don't think there's a place in the game for it. I understand that, at the professional level, there's an entertainment value to doing, having some of those antics. But at the what is supposed to be amateur level, you let your play do the talking, and really disappointed in both of them. They had such a huge platform to really advance the women's game of basketball and really showcase what it's been for so long. Um, that tended to that put a black eye, so to speak, on what really could have been, still being talked about, how good that Final Four was. So, I agree. Uh, you know, Angel Reese probably went overboard and directed it at Caitlin Clark, but Caitlin Clark didn't need to do it in the Elite Eight either. Hey, she's a good enough player. She doesn't have to do any of that. She can let her game do the talking. So I'm old school when it comes to that stuff.
I agree. Now, let me get a drum roll, Guy, because I really want to hear what you got to say here. But what do you say, fellas? What do you say, Guy?
Well, from the beginning of the season, anytime women's basketball was talked about all year long, it was Caitlin Clark. That's the only women's basketball player I know. And every time, especially throughout this Final Four, this entire tournament, it's been about Caitlin Clark. Every time you turn the TV on, they're talking about Caitlin Clark, or they're talking about South Carolina as a team. But they're talking about Caitlin Clark. And I didn't know who Angel Reese was. I have never heard of her, but she's got 34 double-doubles this year. She's a hell of a player. And I think she was just sick of it. She was sick of every time she turned the TV on, I've got 34 double-doubles. I'm not getting any credit. It's all about Caitlin Clark. And I'm not going to say I condone it, but I understand it. I mean, people were tired of hearing about it. And even Caitlin Clark came out later and she defended Angel Reese and what she did. The whole, First Lady Biden, that was a moronic statement to make in Denver, Colorado. Hey, I think we ought to invite Iowa too to the White House. That was just stupid. And, as far as, I'll defend, Angel Reese and her ability. I mean, she, like I said, she just was sick and tired of seeing Caitlin Clark's face everywhere. And she wasn't getting the respect that she deserved. I mean, she had 34 double-doubles. I didn't know that.
Well, I understand that. I just, as a person of color, I'm saying I get it. As I get it, I completely get it. And I just wish it would have stopped at a certain point and said, "That's it. Points taken. You got her. We got her. Let's let it ride." The continuation of it is what I said. That's now you're going overboard, and that's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah, but Johnny, back in the day, we wouldn't be doing any of this or any of this. We would go up to the player at the free throw line or, at a dead ball or something like that and say, "Hey, congratulations on your Player of the Year award or honor. We just got the ship."
Yeah.
And you leave it at that and you just go on about your way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's something we don't know. We don't know what was being said.
Well, I can tell you this. When you're seeing Draymond Green or Klay Thompson on the sideline going, "I got 1, 2, 3, 4 rings," when he's going back and forth in the NBA, people see all these things. They're pointing to, all these things manifest themselves, and then you see this come out. And then, I think both of them are outstanding players, and both of them are probably really great individuals. I just hated that it took away from the team aspect of LSU. But we will say this here: congratulations to LSU for winning the women's championship. It's just as much as we say congratulations to UConn for winning the men's. Gentlemen, interesting segment. No one cried, but the ball did get tipped. You running for your life, and now you know. Okay, so one shining moment, gentlemen. We'll be right back. You're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Pizza Ranch studio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.